Okay. Just checking out to see if everything's kind of working fine here. I can see the fact that I am live on YouTube. I can see it at least. Um, Actually, hold on. Let me unmute myself here. Okay, yeah, okay. I got the audio there, so that's awesome. Um, so this is my first time streaming on YouTube Live. Um, the for if anybody doesn't really know, I've been streaming over on Twitch for over 4 years. But um, as I kind of mentioned over there yesterday, um, I wasn't really that happy with the, so um, for anybody that doesn't know, okay, if you weren't here yesterday, I haven't put up yesterday's video on my YouTube channel yet. Okay, so you know, for those of you that aren't aware, it's a long video. I went through a lot of everything that has been going on with me lately. Um, so for those of you that are actually subscribed to my channel, then just bear in mind that that video will be released. I'll put it on my little life update vlog, I guess you might call it. Um, the um, oh wait, I need to get some background music going so that I can keep my headset running. Actually, no, that's not the kind of radio station I want. Hold on a second. Pardon me. Let me switch over to my typical radio stations. There we go. Now to lower that down, don't really want to have that playing loudly in my ear. Okay, but it keeps my headphones active. Um, so new platform. Those of you that don't really know, or maybe you weren't on Twitch yesterday when I was discussing this, but um, um, while I'm looking for a new job again, um, you know, I'm gonna get back into, or I've been trying to stream full time. Again, I had a little bit of a long break, but I'm gonna get back into this again. But you know, I was never really that happy with the um, with Twitch taking 50-50 on their platform, um, payment wise. You know, I didn't feel that comfortable with my audience having to pay, like $10 for a subscription and getting, I only get like $5 out of it. Um, Now, don't get me wrong, the host company should get a cut of, you know, should be paid. Okay. Whether it's by ads, whether it's by, the subscription payments, what have you, I don't, I have no problem with it. Obviously, they need to make money somehow. So, no worries on that. but I was never really comfortable with the 50-50. I thought that that was a little too much, especially when I saw like people, you know, um, putting in subscriptions, buying the tier threes and all that kind of jazz. That was just, um, in some cases, I was thrown off completely by some people's donations, by some accords, by, um, I once saw, um, someone donate $5,000 to a streamer, so it's like, ooh, okay. Um, uh, so I'm not necessarily planning on playing anything today. Um, well, maybe. Um, Blackheart. I think Blackheart tends to play Genshin Impact, like either today or tomorrow or something like that. I don't know. Um, so I might join him. I might join him on that. Not sure. I haven't completely decided on it. I just want to kind of um, test out YouTube, see if it runs well, see if I can actually see chat. But no one's come in yet to chat with me yet. Um, it doesn't. I don't think I see anything in term. Oh, okay, so I do see participants. Toggle timestamps. Sure, I can toggle timestamps. Why not? Um, Participants is just myself. It looks like. Um, so I'm probably going to be having a little bit of growing pains here on YouTube. Hold on a second. Let me get. I need to get something to drink here. There we go. Okay. But um, being on Twitch for 4 years and not really getting anywhere over there with streaming, I was like, okay, well, the don't get me wrong, I met some fantastic people over there, and um, I hope to kind of continue being kind of connected with them, um, you know, by playing games or whatnot, um, or them talking to me on Discord, you know, whatever. Um, you know, would love to kind of keep those friendships going, obviously. Um, don't necessarily want to stop friendships. Um, that would be, well, I mean, there's times when you really should probably stop friendships in some regards, but for the most part, you know, I wouldn't want to have that happen, I should say. um, Me being awkward. Okay. So, um, there's going to be a little bit of growing pains here on YouTube. I get that. Uh, but I feel that, um, at this particular moment in time, YouTube feels as though they have a um, they don't have like the best streaming system yet. They're obviously working on it, which is perfectly fine. Um, they came into the streaming world later than most. So they're kind of doing catch up, but from what I've heard, they've been doing a bang up job on it. They keep on bringing out new features and all that. Um, um, the um, I also appreciate when you get monetization, that um, monetization is 70/30 here on YouTube. So that's good. I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that ads aren't splayed up, on a person's screen for um, to interfere with a viewer's watching of ads. Now, bear in mind, okay, I don't have enough subscriptions here on YouTube to warrant that yet, um, or at least, I don't have, or I should say, uh, I don't have enough subscriptions here on YouTube to get monetizations. They'll still probably play ads. Um, but what I didn't like on Twitch was the fact that uh, when you try to click on someone's stream, it plays an ad right away, you know. And some of these ads are like 2 minutes long, and it's like, hey, I want to like watch this person like right now, you know. Um, I don't want to see your ad for whatever product you're trying to sell, you know. I'm going to a streamer right then and there to watch them right then and there. And, they could be in like middle of a game or something like that. And it's like, it's a little frustrating. Obviously, like I said mentioned before, they need to make money. I get that, um, but they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot because it's like, hey, these people want to watch the streamers and they want to sub to those streamers and like. So, um, when you are blocking them from doing that with ads, that turns viewers off. That basically says, I don't want to watch this. I'm going to go somewhere else. Um, it doesn't help out the streamers at all. Um, I don't, to my knowledge, I don't think YouTube has had any problems with the ads in that sense. Um, Now, obviously, when it comes to um, non-live videos, there's obviously times where it's like hey, we're gonna take a commercial break. You know, some you can skip, some you can't. But that's fine because it kind of pauses the content so that you can kind of watch, or you can maybe take a couple seconds back, watch the rest of the video, get another ad, blah, blah, blah. Rinse, repeat, right? It doesn't necessarily stop you missing content. Um, YouTube also has those little windows that pops up, that contains an ad that people can click on if they want to, if there's something there that interests them. Um, and and that's handy. Um, because again, it doesn't block the audio, it doesn't block the visual of the streamer, um, and that's good. That's a good way of handling ads. I appreciate that. Um, Twitch has been trying to do that a little bit, but again, uh, they're they haven't done enough. Um, you know, they um, in my opinion, they've been kind of shooting themselves in the foot quite a bit lately. And um, so so when I was talking yesterday on Twitch, um, I put out the fact that um, I keep on trying to get out into the corporate world as a software dev, trying to find a job, and it hasn't been that rewarding. Uh, I can never seem to hold down a job, and that's frustrating. Um, you know, I do a 1 year contract and then it ends, and there's no stability for me right at this moment in time, and that's frustrating. I don't want to keep on going through interview after interview after interview every single year to try to have a stable job. But unfortunately, it feels like that's kind of like the culture here at in in the States that, you know, um, you know, hey, we'll, use you as an employee for as long as we feel as we deem fit, and then we'll get rid of you. If you're not going well over above and beyond, you know, like not only should you be doing the 40 hours a week, on the job, but you should be doing 20 hours extra off the clock to, keep your job. It's like, or at least it feels that way to me. I've had jobs where they said, hey, um, you know, we're not going to teach you about this particular project, or we're not going to teach you, we're not going to mentor you on this language or anything along those lines. You got to learn it yourself on your own time. It's like, and that's really frustrating, you know. Um, and I feel that, you know, I think a lot of people are getting frustrated with corporate America with that because um, there's no loyalty, from companies to employees, or at least it doesn't feel that way anymore. And employees are seeing that more and more nowadays. You know, they say that there's a lack of employment, or you know, there isn't enough labor out there, and I say bullshit on that. I say that corporations are just being just downright toxic. They they are abusing their employees to the point where the employees are just sick of it. You know, um, on my last job, I did everything that they wanted me to do. There was no complaints, you know, about my work performance, or at least they never said anything to me. They never like took me into a side office or anything like that and said, "Hey, Jim, you need to step up on what you're doing." No, I did everything that I needed to do on my last job. Um, so it's not like, you know, they let me go because I was screwing up code or anything along those lines. Um, you know, my previous job before that, I proved that they were kind of screwing me over for, um, not giving me enough work. There are time restrictions on how much time it took um, to complete the job, to complete the work that I needed to do. Um, was impossible if you didn't have, you know, extra extra jobs. Or okay, let me kind of rephrase it here. Um, so I proved that if you had like one ticket, you needed to do one job, right? And you only had one job. I proved that it would take 3 to 4 hours to get the entire one ticket done. Okay. Um, but here's the thing. the amount of time that is given to you from that last company that or that the company that I mentioned. I'm not going to name the name because I don't want them coming after me or anything along those lines. Okay. I proved to them that it takes 3 to 4 hours. Okay, for one ticket, and I was only getting one ticket at a time. Okay. However, they kept on saying, "Hey, you need to complete this in 2 hours," and I showed there was no way for me to complete it in 2 hours. I proved it to them. I sat down with, their executive manager and said, hey, this is how you go about doing it. Sure, there might have been maybe a little bit more that I could maybe do to cut it down a little bit of time, like maybe a minute or two here and there, typing, putting things in. Um, but more often than not, it was computer was taking time to process something. Okay, and that took time. Okay, and but the thing was that during that time frame, you can go and do another ticket, do that second ticket, do that third ticket, do that fourth ticket. You can all kind of set it up, get it ready for that computer to process. So you do like 1 hour to set it up. You start the computer process, and then you have another hour to set the next one up, do the process. Next one, process. Next one, process, right? And all the while, during all that time of processing, you can finish off the ticket. Okay. So, you know, you can get it done in 2 hours, but by itself, alone, it wasn't possible. I proved it. But obviously, they found excuses to, eventually let me go. And I was like, okay. I kind of got done. I was looking for work by the end anyway. I saw the writing on the wall. They were wanting to try to get rid of me. So I was like going, okay. Um, so, I just haven't I've had, I've had a little bit of a rough time trying to handle the corporate world here in the States. Um, so, um, but I'm back to looking for more work, trying to find another job again. Um, and while I do that, I'm going to be streaming. I'm going to be, for those of you that are watching me right now on YouTube, um, I'm going to be doing I'm going to hold to, well, okay. You probably don't really know because what I normally do is kind of split up here on YouTube, or at least that's what I was doing for a good 3 months before I stopped. Um, so the time frame that I'm gonna hold to because it worked out last time, and I feel like I can keep on doing it. It's just um, there's still a lot of stuff for me to do here at home to kind of get my mind straight. So, um, I got things. I got trash to take care of and all that jazz to kind of. Plus, I mean, I really should get my hair cut. It doesn't. I've been. I haven't really been. One of my friends said, you should try out long hair. I think it would look good on you. I don't. I really should probably ask that friend if I really do look good in long hair, but I don't know. I've always had, short hair for the majority of my life, so having long hair the way I do right now, it's like you know, well, long-ish hair. Yeah. Um, but um, I don't know. I need to take care of some things on my end to try to handle things, right? Um, so so what's going to happen? Well, you know, I'm going to be looking for a job again, again. Um, but in the meantime, I'm also going to be streaming at the same time. Um, I'm going to send out resumes, hope for some replies, hope for some positive results so that I can get interviews. I can dress up and, talk with the, potentially hopeful future, employers, um, so that I can actually start getting paid again. In the meantime, I'm going to be continuing my streaming journey. Now, um, I'm going to start working towards trying to set this up as a full-time job. Um, so because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of corporate America just kind of screwing me over. Um, you know, um, you know, um, I've been wanting to find a place where I can be loyal to, you know, that, they have my back and I have theirs, but so far I haven't found that, you know, and they're not keeping me enough to be loyal. So, you know, uh, loyalty is a two-way street. So if they're not loyal to me, then why should I be loyal to them? And I don't care if a company says, so why should we hire you? It's like, I'm here to do a job. Um, you know, you're hiring me to do a job. Loyalty comes later. If you show me loyalty, I show you loyalty back. Until then, you know, you're my employer, I'm your employee. That's it. You know, I do the work that you need done, you make a profit off of it, and we go about our days. You pay me later, or you pay me what is owed. That's how it is. So, um, you know, there were times where I was looking at companies to work for, back in the day, when I was like, freshly out of college and going, ooh, hey, you know, I would love to work here, because, that would be awesome, you know, and then I learned the truth. um, you know, the the fact that sure, I might have wanted to work at, some companies because it would be awesome, but that's the thing, um, I was fighting for to be seen by anybody from those companies to, you know, and letting them know, hey, no, I can do the work, you know, I can do the code, or at least, I think I can do the code, you know. Um, I've corrected other people's code, you know. I would love, I have no problem sharing, my knowledge to others. So I'm not like one of those that is downright toxic and hateful towards others when it comes to coding. I want to help out others, but that's that was never um I guess that was never really appreciated. Everybody has this, idea of like, hey, it's um, you know, keep your own island and don't go anywhere else beyond it. The whole, you know, cubicle with, walls as high as the ceiling. Keep yourself isolated because that's, you know, we don't want to we don't want to interact with you. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of software developers are introverts and can be quite awkward. But that's me. um, but at the same time, we shouldn't necessarily be um, we shouldn't necessarily be isolationists either. You know, uh, well, yeah, we might be able to code up parts of the project by ourselves. That shouldn't necessarily mean that we can do the entire project by ourselves. I mean, let's face it, you know, you're gonna need help from others to get a project done on a team. And having, others join you to work on that is, you know, will help you out in the long run. It will be, it would be in your best interest to do that. You know, be part of the team, help out others. Um, so I don't know if anybody's watching this or not. Um, Makes me wonder. Maybe I should see about if. Hmm. Actually, let me go ahead and contact Blackheart. Uh, Alright. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, we'll see if he responds or not. Um, but here's the thing. I'll be trying to work on getting myself a job again because obviously I need to pay the bills. Um, but if I can get the streaming to be lucrative, you know, if I can start making an income here or any streaming platform, then I might be, that might be great. I would love to, because here I can do pretty much whatever I want. Okay, but here's the thing. Um, I would need, I would need the viewer support in order to do that, right? You know, um, Now I might be able to get away with, just making money on just straight up ads. But I flagged this as not a kids channel because I'm gonna probably play games that are very not kid friendly. Um, you know, I'm while I don't swear that often. I do occasionally swear. So, um, YouTube doesn't really like that for kids. So, um, you know, I don't know why they don't continuously try to work on keeping their YouTube kids isolated for kids and YouTube as, more PG-13 and above, but whatever. That's issues with YouTube and other, content creators here on YouTube that have had issues with their, um, with their videos and kid content and so on and so forth. But I'm gonna try to work on seeing if I can arrange this in a way where, um, um, I'll start streaming here on YouTube on a regular basis. Obviously, there's a lot of things that I need to kind of work on to to see what I can, um, that I can maybe try to do, to see if I can get, um, I'd need to do like quite a bit of stuff um, to see if it is working properly here on YouTube. Um, I'm so integrated on Twitch that it's like, okay, well, I have a lot of tools that are, set up on Twitch, but not so much on YouTube. So I don't know what everybody would see, on YouTube. So I need to kind of work on that. I need to kind of adjust that. Obviously, these recordings will be added to my, um, into my videos, into the playlist properly. And I'm going to see about working on, trying to arrange it for, um, I need to start trying to work more on editing videos. I don't like editing. I don't want to edit. um, because I look at it and I go, well, okay, what does everybody want to watch? You know, what does everybody want to see? Do they want to see the gameplay? Do they want to see my reactions to said gameplay? Are they more interested in just overall, action, 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 action? You know, um, are they more interested in the glitches and the comedy and stuff like that? Which uh, there's been moments where I kind of laughed at either the stupidity of the situation, stupidity of the game, or maybe there was a funny happenstance that happened. Again, I don't really know. I don't know what the audience would like, and let's face it, um, you know, um, what might be great for one person might not be great for another. I get that. I understand. Um, you can't make everybody happy. So, but, you know, um, if corporate America isn't willing to take me on as a software developer, then I might as well be a streamer because I don't really have any other, um, I don't feel like I have enough skill in anywhere else really to do anything else other than go back to retail. And God forbid I don't, I really don't want to do that again. I did that for 3 years. I don't want to go back there. So, pardon me, I need to get a drink again. All right. for those of you that are still working in retail, um, stay strong. You know, um, I've been there. I've seen a lot, um, and I feel your pain. You know, the whole mantra of the customers are always right. No, the customer is not always right. The customer can be wrong. I've proven it to multiple customers that they were wrong. Um, you know, and so, but it feels like a nonstop battle for sometimes, depending on what where you're at. Managers will even kind of go, will it's like, hey, we need to keep them as a customer, so even if they are indeed wrong, we're gonna make provide them a refund so that technically they're still right. It's like, mm. Because we want the customer to return. It's like, yeah. Um, so, um, so what is that going to mean here on YouTube Live? Well, first off, um, we're going to um, we're going to continue with our programming study sessions. Um, you know, if you noticed on uh, you know, if you've been kind of keeping an eye on my videos, I was uploading quite a bit of my work on getting my PEGA certification. Um, I want to continue that so that I can get this certification so that, hey, um, I can go to a job and say, no, hey, I really do, I have the certification now, to prove that I can, work, I can use the tool that I already know how to use, but couldn't get past their test once. Um, um, so we're gonna continue doing that on a daily basis. I was doing a lot of 1 hour study sessions on that. Then 1 hour after that, then the next hour time slot after that was typically my time where I was, doing a lot of behind the scenes work. Okay. Normally I didn't really record that session because it was just me talking. Um, I was just talking about um, uploading videos, making them live, um, maybe the occasional edit, but again, you know, before I didn't really want to deal with that, but it's looking like I'm gonna need to do that more. So that hour, once I get myself caught up, I might use that hour to edit like the day before's videos down into something that's maybe a little bit more consumable. Like I said, I'm not really the best uh, in editing, so it's like, you know, um, not sure what I can really do on that, but I'll see what I can do. Is this a Q&A? Not technically. First time streaming here on YouTube, so I'm just kind of talking about what my plans are going to be here. So if you have questions, you're welcome to ask them, but I can try to answer them depending on the question. Um, so that's going to be like the next hour after the programming study session. and then after that is going to be the gaming. Now, um, I've been kind of debating, do I keep with the schedule that I had on Twitch, which was what was the full on schedule again? Yeah, let me look that up. It's been a while since I streamed on Twitch, so let me look at my channel here real quick. Okay, so um okay, interesting. They don't have Mondays there. Seems like my schedule kind of got screwed up here a little bit. Oh well, let me go to my about section in there and kind of explain. Okay, so on Mondays was Dragon Age Origins. So, um, so you know, okay. So this was prior. I don't know if I'm gonna hold to the game lineup. Okay, I might need to change things around a little bit. Okay. Mondays was Dragon Age Origins. Tuesdays was Final Fantasy VII, the original, not the remake. Wednesday was World of Warships. Thursday was Subnautica Below Zero. Friday was World of Warships again. And then Saturday and Sunday was Warframe. Now, Blackheart, I've been playing Terraria, and I've been kind of helping him out a little bit with his Genshin Impact. And I have played both of those in the past. I do have playlists of them. But I never really got that far with either one of them. I could I could put that on the schedule that, I'm going to be playing those games, which means I'm going to need to take out, um, I'm going to need to kind of rearrange, you know, what games to play and when. So, um, but as I mentioned yesterday on Twitch, um, there are some games that just don't have the views on Twitch anymore. They're not they don't have a lot of people like watching, there's not a lot of watchers watching for that particular content. And obviously, the game brings in the person, right? Um, you know, Unless you got to know me personally, then, sure. You're welcome to kind of stick around and um, chat with me. I have no problem with that. You're welcome to. It might be a little awkward because I'm awkward. um, but you know, if I'm going to try to, make something here, um, that might stand the test of time a little bit more, then I might need to consider dropping some of these games that I have listed, that I listed there. So, um, in the idea of like, let me play something that everybody loves to watch. So, I'm the queen of social awkwardness. Well, I've had my share of being awkward on times myself. So, um, you know, so while you might be the queen, you know, I I'm definitely up there myself. I don't know if I could consider myself the king because I've seen some other very cringe reactions from time to time, but I'm definitely not someone with a whole lot of charisma. You know, I'm I'm not Mr. Suave. That's for sure. So, um, but the you know, if I'm gonna be, if I want to try to change this channel into something that, um, you know, like right now, okay, as as I look on my channel, I currently have 43 subscribers. So, um, but I mean, let's face it. Um, my content has been playing a variety of different games, and I have done nothing on editing. 4-hour videos typically were were typically uploaded to my YouTube channel. So, and that's not something that's easily digestible for most people. Okay. I'll admit I wouldn't have that much time in a day to dedicate to one particular person. So I mean, I can understand others being very hesitant on doing that. To take, to allow for that amount of content. So, um, Google, I'm better at being more awkward and cringe than you. Okay, well, let's not go ahead and try to prove it. Let's take our take word for it and move on from there. You know, we don't need to prove it. You know, we'll take each other's word at it and move on from there. Um, but I mean, unless you revel in the awkwardness and cringe, and there's again nothing wrong with that. You know, keep on doing that. If that's something that you enjoy doing, then more power to you. You know, um, I am who I am, so this is you know how I'll proceed. So, if people like that, then great. If people don't, then well, there is plenty of other content out there. So, um, but yeah, for anybody that you know, um, uh, for anybody that doesn't know, if you're like maybe new to this, if you're watching me for the first time, um, I have multiple different playlists, playing multiple different games. Um, and let's face it, they are 4-hour long videos for the most part. So that's there's a lot, there's weeks, months of content easy easy on my channel for you to consume if you want to. Um, if I'm gonna try to make this into something that is, um, something that I'm gonna try to need to work on getting more subscribers and getting more watch time, then I'm gonna need to put in the effort to cut down. Uh, Obviously I'll have the VODs um, being uncut, but I'm gonna have to do the effort on trying to find clips or trying to cut down these 4-hour videos into something that is a little bit more consumable. Um, which means that I'm probably going to be putting even more time after I'm done with the stream in order to do that. I'm Needless to say, I'm probably not going to enjoy that too much. But I mean, let's face it. If you look at any YouTuber that's out there that has been doing any kind of editing, uh, reaction videos to music and movies and stuff like that, they've had to put in the time to edit down their videos to try to make, for one, pass copyright, and two, make it consumable to others. So, um, you know, I look at some of my videos and they're like going, hey, you have people that are only sticking around for, um, um, maybe a minute or two, you know. So, I can't really expect people to stick around for 4 hours. So I need to, look in on my content and see about cutting it down a lot to make it more consumable. There are times where I really wish I could hire an editor, but I can't. So that will, that's going to be something that I'm going to be aiming for in the future, but, um, you know, obviously I can't do that now. I can't pay anyone for that. So, um, and I don't expect anybody to do that for free either. So, um, you know, eh, you know, well, okay, let me put it this way. If someone wants to do it for free now to help me build the channel up so that later in the future it will make money, then yeah, I will, like, you will be the first one to get that paycheck. you know, um, but obviously not there yet. So actually, do not revel in it mostly. Uh, but believe me, I don't really, you know, I don't necessarily revel in it myself. Their ghost, their rule. Um, you know, and believe me, in the past, I've said a lot of really stupid things at like the worst times, and um, you know, typically made quite a few people angry at me at times too because of what I've said and done. So, um, but oh well, it is what it is. Um, I have to, keep moving forward as much as I can, to, you know, to survive. So, um, but yeah, uh, there are times where, I remember back when I made like the worst mistakes when like, I look back at times and I really wish I could, like, you know, I did, something stupid that had like the worst outcome. But if anybody had you know, like James Bond worth of charisma kind of thing, they probably could have taken it and gone, "Oh yeah, this would be, here's the fantastic outcome." I always, I always had the timeline that, always felt like it came with the worst result. You know. Oh well. Um, like I said, we can only deal with what we're given at times. Um, you know, there are times where I do kind of wish that I had, more charisma on me to handle, situations better. Um, you know, have a little bit more courage so that I could actually, um, ask, you know, ladies out, you know, better at times. But yeah. Um, but awkwardness, you know, causes like the worst situations sometimes. So, but yeah. Um, so now when I was doing a lot of variety on Twitch, I didn't really care about it all that much because I was playing the games that I wanted to play, and um, you know, I was always kind of trying to work towards getting that job, right? You know, um, it was, it was looking for job and then stream on the side to keep my sanity. Okay, that was the thought line. You know, um, when I first started streaming and then COVID hit and I continued streaming. Um, um, you know, the idea was try to find a job to pay my bills, stream on the side just to kind of stay, sane, sanity, you know, um, and try to boost up my mental to handle the rejection letters that, I kept on getting. Or, you apply for a job and you don't hear back. Okay, that the whole issue of, job applications, it's terrible. Um, hey, any HR members that are listening to me right now, do better on replying back to a person's application. Send out that rejection email. You know, um, if you are ghosting the applicant, you're being toxic. Okay. Um, you know, create a form letter, copy and paste everybody's email address, send it out. You can just do the BBC on everybody, send out the email, you're done. Okay. Don't, you know, don't leave them hanging, you know. Okay. But if I'm gonna change gears a little bit here. Okay. Um, First and foremost, I need a job. I need to pay my bills. So I'm gonna be looking for work. That's a given, you know. Because obviously streaming YouTube right now, not paying the bills, So obviously I need to get it to a point where, um, uh, you know, I need to pay rent. So, um, so I need to continue looking for work right now. Um, and obviously I'll do that. But obviously, you folks don't necessarily need to see that. That's, for one thing, that's personal information, and you definitely don't need to see that. um, Also, um, that's real life stuff that is boring, bland, and not really that entertaining. Okay. Um, I mean, unless I'm like, highlighting, job posts, the job board and looking at, hey, this company is asking, saying, hey, we're hiring for entry level, and they have to have this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill. And it's like, oh my God, what the hell? you know, uh, I can try to do that. Um, but I mean, yeah. But again, that gets to the um, I I I have to kind of be careful with that because again, that gets to a point where I might show something that could really dox me, and um, I don't necessarily want someone coming to my house, knocking on my door, and saying, "Jim, I love you." It's like, do I know you? You know. Don't necessarily want necessarily that. Don't necessarily want stalkers or anything along those lines. I'd rather get to know a person first. Um, so please don't show up to my door at all, please. I don't want that happening. So, um, um, don't, you know, parasocial is it's a very complex issue, but at the same time, you know, when you look at it, it's like, okay, you don't necessarily want, people in the chat being stalkers to the streamer, and you don't necessarily want the streamer um, like abusing, um, or being that kind of person that kind of um, what's the word I'm looking for? Grooms the chat into, you know, uh, doing things for the streamer that could be harmful to them. So it's like, that can be really problematic sometimes. So, hey there, Blackheart, how you doing there, bud? I was wondering if you'd seen my post or not. So, for anybody that is interested, go check out Blackheart. Check out his YouTube channel. Check out his Twitch streaming. Um, yeah, I don't. Normally I would say, normally I would try to see if I could do a shout out command, but that only works on Twitch, so I don't think I can really do that here on YouTube, at least not yet. Like I said, this is my initial YouTube stream, so obviously there's going to be a little bit of wear and tear. There's going to be a little bit of um, starting up woes. So. You're doing okay? Sounds good there, Blackheart. Um, what's your plan for tonight? What are you planning on playing tonight? Um, so as I mentioned yesterday on Twitch, um, the games that I've played in the past, you know, do I continue with the variety or do I try to go to a single game content and just stream that? If I do single game content, then obviously that, I throw away um, all the variety games that I've played in the past. I would have to stick with only a single gameplay and work with that. Today's plan is Warframe. Sounds good. You enjoy it. Um, I still feel like I should continue on Saturdays and Sundays for Warframe. Um, but I'll have to kind of, again, I still need to kind of figure out, what I want to do. I'm gonna be trying to work on, you know, do, shall I, you know, I kind of think of it this way, you know, yeah, I'm gonna be doing, uh, I'm gonna be sending out resumes and stuff like that to try to get a job. Okay, I need to pay the bills. Okay. But I need to have, I'm gonna need to put a little bit more seriousness into streaming and YouTube content because um, corporate America has not done me any favors, and I'm, you know, until I can find a company that's loyal to me, that I can be loyal back, that's willing to work with me to get that 20 years of work time out of me, or I should say 20 years plus of work time from me to do, um, then um, until such a time as that happens, um, that would be fantastic if that was to happen. Um, but I'm not getting any younger, and um, I'm, I've tried my best trying to work with the companies that I worked in the past to try to get somewhere, and it never really went anywhere. So, um, I don't know really what else to really do other than stream here. You know, I enjoy gaming, I enjoy coding, and I can do both here whilst doing the streaming. So, um, you know, I can try to aim for this as being a potential career because I don't really have any other choices to me, on my, you know, that I can see. So, um, you know, so I hope others would be willing to join me on that. Um, now, I'm wondering, am I allowed to do a poll here? No, it doesn't look like an. Hmm. Doesn't look like I can do a poll here through YouTube, or at least it doesn't feel like I can do that. Maybe that's something that is, um, maybe that's not something that is available, um, to, someone with, just 43 subscribers. So maybe that's not possible for me right at this moment in time. But let me see. Maybe maybe it's because I don't have. Maybe because I don't have the participants or something like that. Or I don't have the modification or moderator abilities. Hold on, let me see. I'm switching over to um, my streamer profile here, and all right, let me kind of create a poll here real quick. So, um, would you like to see variety in gaming or a single game in my streaming content? Okay. Variety and single. I'll just put a third option in there. Okay. There we go. Added a poll in. Although now I can't really see the can't really see chatters right at this moment in time. um, there is the um, pulling capabilities for if you're a moderator on um, if you have like moderators, or you have a moderator in your um, um, community, you can generate polls. So now, obviously, there's going to be certain things that I won't be able to do like directly. Um, so um, you know, there's going to be um, as as I grow here on YouTube, um, you know, they might have more, um, I might have more abilities, more capabilities or whatnot. Like I said, I haven't really tested out what um, everything that I can do here on YouTube. I've tried to do as much as I can on Twitch, and that really never went anywhere. But like I mentioned before, I never took the angle, you know, previously of like, hey, I'm gonna work on this channel as, I did in the past, you know, prior to yesterday and today. In the past, I worked this as a um, uh, this is just kind of a hobby to kind of keep me sane, keep me um, active. So, um, um, you know, so um, let's see. Was there the possibility of the hmm, was there a way for me to kind of set up a time frame on it? Hmm. Don't think I'm really seeing anything there yet. Um, but now, um, now it's a matter of, hey, uh, obviously I need to get a job so that I can pay my bills. Okay. I'm not expecting to be able to get like 1,000 subscribers right away. That's, you know, I wasn't, uh, how many people follow me on Twitch? Um, 246 on Twitch. Um, so, um, so am I going to be able to get, 1,000 subscribers when I was only able to get 246 followers on Twitch for after 4 years? I don't know. Hard to say, right? Um, the um, it will obviously be an uphill battle. Okay. There's no question about that. Okay. would I be able to make this into a lucrative career that, can pay my bills and I can actually, you know, get a stable lifestyle out of it, you know? I don't need millions or anything along those lines. I don't care for millions. I don't necessarily want to be rich. I, um, I'm not looking for um, I'm not looking for being famous or anything along those lines because I know of all the headaches that come with it. I don't want that. Um, you know, because then you have people that are, um, yeah, you have people that, you know, look at you and demand more from you if you become, rich and famous, right? Um, if you become rich, as they say, all your relatives come out of the woodworks to try to see if they can get a little bit, uh, get some help in money situation and stuff like that, right? Yeah. Um, if you become famous, then you have everybody coming out of the woodworks to try to get close to you. Either one, because you know, they want to be associated with you so that, they can get their own clout from it, or um, they want to share in that wealth that, you have while being famous, right? You know, there's always those toxic personalities that are out there. Okay, they're doing it for their own personal gain, and I don't want that. I don't want that kind of, you know. I'd rather have people that are looking at me like, hey, I can be an actual friend. Um, you know, let's have a good time together. Let's play some games together. Let's code together. Um, You know, let's go out to movies. Let's go eat at local restaurants. Let's go and have, take a trip. You know, these are all things that, I care about. You know, I don't want to have a huge mansion, all the, fancy cars or anything along those lines. I don't care about that. Um, I've always been one for, um, um, more functional, you know, getting things done than style, you know. So, um, or at least, that's typically how, I've been. Don't get me wrong. I don't necessarily like being poor. Who likes being poor? Let's put it that way, right? You know. Um, but I don't necessarily want to be rich either. That's not my goal. Okay. So if you think that that's what I'm aiming for, it's not. So, um, you know, I'm just looking for the general comforts, and that's it. So, um, so here's the thing. Um, we're gonna try to do both at the same time. We're gonna, obviously, continue applying for software development jobs and try to get a job, and hopefully make it into the 20-year career that I would love to have. Um, and at the same time, we are going to try to work on, changing these videos, um, we'll continue uploading the VODs, you know, as VODs. I may need to just kind of edit my current playlists right now and separate them out into um, um, separate them out into like, hey, this is the VOD playlist, and hey, this is the edited playlist. Um, and if it is the edited playlist, I'll warn you right now, you know, it's going to be done by me. I'm going to suck at it. Uh, and um, it's probably going to be like some of the worst edited content out there. Okay. Um, so if you're looking at that and going, "Oh my God, Jim, you're the worst editor alive," I will agree with you. You know, I will be like, "Yep, exactly." You don't have to tell me because I already know. You know. So, um, so yeah, the um, that's how it's going to be right now. That's where um, that's where I stand in my current thinking right now. So, I'm going to be obviously working on um, trying to do both. It's not going to be easy. I would love as much support as I possibly can. Um, mentally would be obviously welcome. Um, I welcome anybody to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. I mean, you're welcome to follow me on Twitch as well if you want to, but like I said before, um, you know, I did 4 years over there, and um, I was never able to really, get like a super large community. Like some people get, followers there, like, you know, like everything was clicking for them, kind of thing. Now, it might be the fact that I wasn't playing the most popular games. You know, back then I didn't have the best computer to play the most recent games that were being uploaded at the time. Okay, now I do. Um, so thankfully, from my last job, I was able to actually purchase a brand new computer. Which, I'm thankful for, seeing that the old one died, shortly after. Uh, that was that was lucky timing. You know, that was like the best timing ever. Um, would have loved to have kept my job to continue paying off things that I wanted to pay off and do things that I wanted to do, but it is what it is. Um, we will continue to move forward. Um, so, um, um, but I need to work on trying to get editing done. Um, I'm just as bad, so I never edit videos. Well, maybe you and I can just team up there, Blackheart, and just like, maybe at this, maybe like, during the day or something like that, you and I can work together on editing our videos down into something more consumable. Now, um, also, um, I welcome anybody to do clips because obviously clips, aka shorts, is really good content or can be really good content. You know, you can show the cringe, you can show the action, you can show um, the the comedic timings, you know, and the clips, the shorts are, very simple, easy to consume content. So, um, No, I'm terrible and don't have any good editing software. Same here, my friend. So, we can kind of work on that. Um, we can do more. So, um, that's if you want to, though. Okay. This is something that, I need to do more of. Um, but also at the same time, my focus is like during the day is going to be adding more, or is, I'm going to be trying to do um, more. Um, I'm going to be applying for jobs during the day. So, as I kind of mentioned before, I mentioned how I was going to be doing the 1 hour programming, and then, I had that 1 hour of in between the programming study session and the gaming. So, I said that, during that 1 hour, I would be trying to do some editing. Um, so, if you want to, you could probably try to join with me at like that, at 3 o'clock PST, and we can try to work on doing some editing together if you want. I don't know. Um, but um, that's if you want to work together on that during that particular window of time. You know, I know editing takes longer than that. Okay, let's face it. Seeing that I'm going to be doing um, um, seeing that I normally do 4 hours of gaming, um, from what I've heard, and I don't know, I'm like I said, I'm not an editor, so I'm not I don't have like, you know, everything that's, I'm not I don't know everything that goes into editing, so I don't know like the typical uh time frames. Like, so if you get like a 4 hour video to edit down, what's the window of time for that? You know, is it just that 4 hours? Is it, 6 hours? Is it 8 hours? Is it more than that to edit down a 4 hour video into something a little bit more consumable? Hard to say. Maybe it's even more than that based off of what you plan on doing in an edited video. Maybe you're doing a lot of like splash screens or, sound effects or, shaking the videos or something else. So, I don't know. Um, I can't say. I doubt that that single hour is probably going to do it, going to cover it, but that's the thing. You can save the edited video and, um, continue working on it. So, um, with all that's going on regarding my upcoming sister, things have been a little chaotic here. I can understand that, my brother. I can understand, well, I say my brother, my friend. I can understand that. Um, so, um, but I mean, if that's something that, um, okay, let me put it this way. Um, uh, you know, put aside everything else, all the other issues that you might have, or you know, put aside like, hey, you don't have the software. Put aside, yeah, your sister's coming in. Put aside timing issues or something like that. Do, you know, do you want to edit your videos? Let's put it that way. You know, Obviously, you know, yeah, you and I, we don't necessarily want to edit our videos because, I suck at it. You mentioned that you said that you're terrible at it yourself. You know, obviously it's understandable we're not going to be the best editors out there. Okay, we, and obviously it'd be great if we could find actual editors to do the work for us to make consumable content. That's understandable. Um, but um, you know, obviously we don't have that luxury. So um, you know, obviously, software, real life consequences, so on and so forth. Yes, that's gonna um, limit our abilities to do editing. You know, that's understandable. That's the same for me. Um, I just want to know if you want to join me in trying to do the editing. Okay, we're obviously both going to be like having troubles with it, but I want to know where, you know, do you want to or do you not want to? If you do want to, then we can try to work around. We can work around everything that is limiting. Okay. Um, and try to see what we can do with that. Okay. So, because obviously, um, you know, uh, obviously we don't have like all the time in the world. We're gonna have some issues, but we can work on that. We can try to take care of some things, to get things worked out. So okay. And it looks like Blackheart, you're the only vote on the poll so far. um, um, oh well, it is what it is. I think I know where to get some meme sound too. I mean, there there are going to be ways and stuff like that to try to work on the videos and to seeing if we can kind of make them a little bit more consumable. Um, Now that's obviously going to be a little problematic in that that might turn off people on the channel. That might like, you know, um, you might have people that are like looking at looking at the VODs and going, your VODs are definitely different from your edited videos, and obviously that's going to be true. um, and um, at the same time, I really don't want to be one of those people that um, um, I want to try to keep a certain sense of authenticity to my videos. Okay. Um, Now here's the thing. Authenticity might not necessarily translate to views. Okay. Let's face it. Sometimes people are attracted to the outrageous. Okay, the shocking, the exciting. So if I don't show that, then that might not translate into views. That might not translate into subscribers. You know, I have to tickle people's funny bones. I have to, show that exciting content. I have to, you know, um, have them, um, shocked at, the gameplay that I do, or something along those lines. Okay, you know, let's face it, that's consumerism, right? Uh, you know, I can also, go with the old staple of sex sells, so I can play games that are very risque, you know. That would definitely not necessarily get monetization, but I mean, I might have a lot more people that might generate a lot more people in my chat and videos, maybe. Um, but but I also have to kind of be careful with that too because obviously YouTube itself has their own guidelines, their own TOS. So obviously, um, you know, um, you know, I would have to be very careful on what content I show. Okay. Um, you know, obviously, most likely, you know, uh, well, I mean, let's face it, some people might be trying to play those, like XXX titles out there, trying to show it on YouTube. But let's face it, those channels are probably going to get like, eventually found out, banned, and removed, right? So, um, so anything that shows any kind of, graphic sex scenes, I can talk, um, is not going to last. Or at least I don't think that's possible. I kind of doubt it would be. Um, but I'm not 100% sure on that. YouTube terms of service live stream. Uh, um, your content and conduct. Um, uh, let's see. Uh, hmm. Okay. Community guidelines strikes basics. Okay. Obviously copyright protection, but when you're playing a game, you don't typically run risk of copyright when it comes to games. Now, the music playing in said games, oh yeah, that will definitely get you hit with copyright claims. But typically, I say typically, games don't, you don't typically get hit with copyright when it comes to games. Nintendo, on the other hand, lately hasn't been really following that too much. Um, but um, hmm, did not see anything in here concerning what type of content is allowable. Um, Maybe YouTube community guidelines is um, Oh, here we go. Permission and restrictions. You're not allowed to. Um, right. Don't read, reproduce or distribute content. So like if there's a movie out there, you can't re-upload said movie to your channel and expect to get paid for it. Nothing there. Um, circumvent. Yeah. Uh, access the service using any automated means. Um, so don't use bots or robots to access the service. Here, let's see. What are you saying there? Um, for example, my run of Sonic Mania on Twitch, no problem. On YouTube, Green Hill Zone, OTS got copyrighted. Oh yeah, a lot of my Star Wars content got the music got copyrighted on the music as well. So um, no copyrighted music, no nudity. Yeah, so um, yeah, I figure the nudity is the main one there. So um, uh, um, okay, that shows the basics of a community strike. That doesn't really matter all that much. Um, nudity and sexual content. There we go. Let's see. Explicit content meant to be sexual or gratifying is not allowed on YouTube. Posting pornography may result in content removal or channel termination. Videos containing fetish content will be removed or age restricted. In most cases, violent, graphic, or humiliating fetishes are not allowed on YouTube. You may find content that violates this policy, report it. Instructions for reporting violations through community guidelines are available here. Um, Sexual explicit content featuring minors and content that sexual exploits minors is not allowed on YouTube. Good. Don't want that. Um, we report content containing child sexual abuse and injury to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So that's good. Good that it's being reported. Not, yeah, please don't take my words out of context there. You know, we want to fight child abuse, not promote it. Um, let's see. This policy applies to real world, dramatized, illustrated, and animated content, including sex scenes, video games, and music. So, don't post content on YouTube if it shows the depiction of clothed or unclothed genitals, breasts, or buttocks that are meant for sexual gratification. Pornography that and the depiction of sexual acts or fetishes that are meant for sexual gratification. Other types of content that violate this policy. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so, you know, well, you might be able to kind of get away with that in like TV and movies. Sean said, obviously there are, um, you know, um, there's ratings um, that, um, you know, PG, PG-13, rated R, so on and so forth. That, um, the movies and TVs, have to follow. So um, they don't really have that here, on YouTube. So, um, because obviously they're trying to, um, YouTube is, very much like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, it is very much a standard channel on TV type of content. So, um, they're trying to advertise themselves, you know, like if you're changing the channel to like, channel two or something like that, the standard channels, not the cable channels, the ones that well, at least, back in the day, you had to pay a little bit extra to get those cable channels, right? Or maybe you had to, in order to get a certain channel like HBO or something like that, you had to pay a little bit extra just to get that single channel. Okay. Those channels typically did whatever they wanted to because, if you're purchasing a subscription to those channels, typically you're saying, "Hey, I'm okay with the content that they're going to be giving me on those channels, so you know, I'm okay with that." Obviously, that's not YouTube, so um, no condoning violence, suicide, or use of drugs. Don't know about gambling. I think that's also not allowed. Um, yeah, I don't know. So, um, but yeah, um, the I'm basically gonna proceed, much like, the content that I was getting on Twitch. The fact that, you know, I'm gonna kind of be playing games that are um, very, um, you know, that aren't really that, like, or um, well, I'm not gonna try to push the envelope. I'll just say it that way. Okay. Um, at least I don't intend to. Okay, I don't want to get community strikes. I don't want to get this channel removed. Um, you know, the idea here is to work towards a point where I can get it to be um, a channel that will stand the test of time and will, you know, bring in more subscriptions, bring in more people that are interested in content, so on and so forth. So that will continue going the way it is. Uh, Now I've uploaded games to my Patreon, or I've uploaded videos to my Patreon because I got tired of YouTube, you know, or I got tired of companies copyrighting games when the music in the game isn't a direct copy from the movies, but they'll still copyright it anyway. Um, Case in point, when I was playing Knights of the Old Republic, and the very the very beginning scene of Knights of the Old Republic, they would play the standard Star Wars fanfare, but they would change it a little bit because it was it's a different game. And it's not you know it's not a um, you know the music is not the same in the game as it was in Star Wars A New Hope, Episode 4. Okay? Anybody that says that is lying. Okay? Um, because they typically didn't have the exact same music in the game as they did in the movie. They typically, you know, modified it, to enhance the game. But I still got copyrights on the game saying, "Oh yeah, this music is from Star Wars Episode 4." It's like, no, wrong, incorrect. That is not the exact same music, but you know, um, I can't fight it. You know, um, you know, I can't fight the. I don't have the income to fight that kind of blatant copyright issue. So yeah. Um, um, hmm, I'm kind of wondering. Okay, yeah, it is showing the fact that I'm, showing up as a streaming on Discord. Wasn't sure about that. Wasn't sure if it was showing that or not. So, okay. I just noticed there, Blackheart, that you were hanging out in the stage. Oh yeah. You can play Valorant, or Roar game. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that have played Doom or Mortal Kombat, and let's face it, um, those are not children's games. Um, so so yeah, those are shown to the standard audience and stuff like that. So um, or that's allowable content kind of thing, even though technically it's should be like violating their TOS. So it's like, whatever. I don't know. Um, you would think that that would be something that violates their TOS, but they sometimes allow exceptions to the rule. It's like whatever. um, but yeah, you have to kind of be careful um, about what you show. So um, otherwise, you know you get striked, and they try to remove your content. So um, I'll be trying to see about um, working towards um, getting to a point where, hey, everybody, um, you know, uh, working on trying to get the game content up and running to the point where everybody, or um, I want to try to get the channel to grow. It wasn't happening through Twitch. I was seeing very slow progress on Twitch, even though I had I was trying to interact with the community as much as I could. I was trying to um, um, put my, I was trying to allow the community to do more for me, or wrong words. I was trying to give the community as much ability to interact with me without going full troll on me. Um, that was my idea, but that never took off. I wasn't able to um, really build, the community there. It felt like. Um, so um, now, granted, I wasn't showing the the top of the line, most advanced games, and so on and so forth on um, on Twitch. I didn't necessarily have the computer at the time, so um, okay. Looks like we got um, 2 votes after 45 minutes on the poll. Um, it's looking like a lot of people are just kind of saying, hey, stick with what you got for the most part. One variety, one don't care. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. Um, I'm going to put up another poll here. Um, so, um, you know, what games do you want to see? Uh, New games. Um, um, uh, which means that if I'm playing new games, then I'd be basically doing changing constantly. Because let's face it, when you're playing new games, there's always going to be like a new game that comes out, and um, you know, and if I want to kind of hop on that bandwagon of, hey, I'm going to be playing this new game, then I need to hop on that bandwagon like really quick. Okay, so that means that um, if I see something that is being released, like say tomorrow, then I better be, uh, you know, I would need to kind of drop a game in my weekly content to allow for that new game to come on in. Okay. Um, do I stick with, um, you know, um, games that the creator, want? Um, let's see. Um, what else? Um, okay, you guys already mentioned this, the fact that you're okay with like the variety games. Um, so obviously sticking to a single game isn't what you, the community, want. That's fine. It's something that I've done in the past, and I'll continue doing that. Um, so, um, let's see, what else can I add on the poll here? Um, let's see. High view count games. Mm, okay, yeah. Poll doesn't really give me the option of timing it or setting a time for it, so okay, we'll just put that poll up there. So, so feel free to put in your opinion on that. Let me know what you guys, would like to kind of see on this channel. Um, already someone said, uh, just pick the games that you want, Jim, which, is understandable. But um, like I mentioned before, the uh, you know, my attempts of doing this, you know, um, my attempts haven't really met with any kind of success. So, granted, like I mentioned before, I wasn't really aiming for success, but um, now that that's kind of on my mind, now I have to kind of consider that. So that's the reason why I'm kind of putting up these polls a little bit more, um, because what I did in the past never took off. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it was wrong. Um, I will admit that I didn't put in as much effort into it as I definitely could have. Editing clips, shorts, so on and so forth could, definitely boost community. Um, but um, the um, have to, I need to kind of take into consideration, um, you know, what to aim for now. So that's all. So I think the more fun you're having, the more you can mess with it and jerk around more easily. Yeah. Um, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I can't do that with any game, you know. Um, so, um, you know, all three of those options can do that there, Blackheart. So, you know, uh, a new game could be really fun, and I could definitely mess around with it. High view count games, you know, can be fun. I can mess around with it. So it's really kind of a subjective along those lines. So um, and um, if even if I am messing with the game kind of thing, that who knows, that might turn someone off too. You never know, man. Um, Internet can be a fickle thing. So audience can be fickle. So um, but I mean, we'll I'll just keep on you know working towards that goalpost. Yeah, you know, try to get to that point of like reaching that touchdown, right? So um, I play games that were born for videos, and it was hard to think of something to make the vid entertaining. Yeah, I mean, it's true that um, certain games might be easier to um, that they might have a little bit more to them that might make it a little bit more entertaining. Okay, I get that. Um, but um, but at the same time, um, you know, people have done, um, you know, um, there are some people that have taken games and flipped them around a little bit to try to add a little bit more entertainment value to them. Um, take for example, um, Subnautica, right? Now, Subnautica, um, isn't necessarily a game that's like super action packed, right? It is a survival game, and you're not really being constantly attacked by anything. Now, obviously, there are moments in Subnautica that can be quite stressful for some people. Um, but more often than not, it's the person, exploring, gathering up resources, and pretty much building. And that's about it when it comes to Subnautica. Okay, with the occasional, tense moments, right? Um, Most people look at the building, the resource gathering as quite boring. Not something that you would normally see, not something that you'd normally want to see, because there's really no action to that kind of thing. Now, some people might be interested in like, oh, hey, you know, how are you going to build up your base? There might be a few people that are into that, which is perfectly understandable. Um, but that's not like the typical mindset. Uh, um, you might have the people that are interested in, your process of building up a base, so they might be really into you doing that. Um, some people might just want the finished product, and that's about it. Okay. Hence the reason why you see a lot of videos that people tend to edit out a lot of that content. You go out and gather up resources, for hours upon hours upon hours, like in Warframe, for example, right? You and I play Warframe. Um, there are times when, I put on Hydroid, I go to a planet, and I'm just kind of farming resources like Orcan cells over and over and over again. Keep on replaying the survival to, get more more resources that way, right? I'm not playing any of the quests. I'm not playing any of the like, you know, boss battles or anything along those lines. Something that most people would be interested in seeing. Okay, I'm just there, with Hydra, just sitting there, letting the tentacles get the resources that I was looking for, right? So, um, so that would be quite boring for some, right? Um, so, um, but it's not saying that the game itself is bad. It's just parts of the game are, parts aren't necessarily entertaining, or might not necessarily be entertaining. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do something that might, you know, might make it a little bit more enjoyable for the viewing audience too. Now, for example, um, you know, the, there's a channel that took Subnautica and turned it more into I guess you might say, like a role-playing kind of scenario. Um, I'll shout out their channel here, Neebs Gaming. Okay, they took Subnautica, and their main two players, contributors to that channel, um, they were kind of going back and forth, you know, as though they were like direct communication with each other, even though technically the game is a single player game. Um, so they changed the game into being more of a show than anything else. Yeah, they still obviously highlighted the the tense scenes or something along those lines, or hey, this just happened, and oh my God, kind of thing, right? Um, but they still showed content that wasn't there either. You know, um, they kind of scripted out, scenarios that they kind of wanted to do to, um, so that it might be a little bit more entertaining for some. Okay, so um, some people would, you know, not necessarily, like my streaming right now, like if I'm playing a game, um, if I'm like silent during like a good portion or of that content, I could always go right back into like the edit of said game, and I could probably put in you know, some kind of dialogue in there, like, what is Jim thinking at this particular moment in time? You know, um, Similar to what Rooster Teeth did with Red versus Blue. Similar, but with Red versus Blue, they did it with the Halo, um, multiplayer sessions kind of thing. They did their Red versus Blue just using the arenas, and obviously they did, isolated arenas so that, they can kind of make the content that they wanted to do with Red versus Blue, right? Um, there there was um, another uh, like show that was out there that that was quite hilarious. That what someone did was that they played Half-Life and Half-Life 2, and um, the main character in Half-Life and Half-Life 2 doesn't speak. There's no voice lines for the main character um, um, for Gordon. So what one channel did was that they kind of had kind of like they did like they tried to put their own little spin to it. They tried to have, them speaking as though they were Gordon. Um, I forget the name of that show. Um, let's see. Was it like something like Morgan's Mind or something like that? Um, let's see. Half-Life. Um, Morgan's Mind, something like that. Freeman's Mind. There it is. That was the series on it. So by Cursed Farms, you know. They basically took the gameplay of, um, they basically took the gameplay of Half-Life 1 and 2, and, they put their own, they obviously wrote out, dialogue for those scenes themselves and, tried to act through it. Obviously, they probably had to do like, multiple different takes for it or something along those lines. Um, but um, you know, they came up with this, their own particular show called Freeman's Mind out of it. So, um, so it's not like you can't be creative with any kind of game, you know. Uh, like the other day or like earlier today, I watched a reactor react to the movie Clue for the first time. Um, and I mentioned the fact that hey, there is the Clue board game on Steam that you play, and um, then I was kind of starting to think about it a little bit more, and I was like going, you know, um, you know, I was thinking to myself, um, it'd be kind of cool if you could, you know, do um, do the Clue gaming sessions and change it into something that is more like a role-playing session in a way. Obviously, that makes it really difficult in that, um, um, how do you know, have speaking lines that work with, your cards and Clue, and work it so that you can still kind of play the game and win the game, but, do it in such a way where it might be entertaining for others to kind of see that whole role playing happen and still kind of make it somewhat believable. Um, you know, obviously that was like an initial concept. I wouldn't really know how to really go about putting it together per se, um, but I mean that's just kind of like one of those ideas. So um, in a way, D&D Clue, yeah, in a way. Um, but obviously you have to kind of be careful with that because if you're like playing the game to win, then obviously you won't necessarily be going up to a person and saying, "Oh ho, you know, I'm sorry, Mr. Colonel Mustard, you know, Miss Scarlet wasn't there." You just basically gave the fact that, you know, you just gave away your card to like everybody else in in the session, right? So you have to kind of be careful with all that role playing. You have to kind of be careful what you would say in that kind of like a role playing style of Clue. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you were to basically say, hey, Colonel Mustard, Miss Scarlet wasn't there. I have proof that Miss Scarlet wasn't there. And everybody else, Mr. Green, Professor Plum, they'd be like on, oh, Mrs. Scarlet wasn't there? Oh, okay, I'll write that down. It's like, no, 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 no. you know, um, that's not, you're not meant to have that information, you know, that kind of thing, right? So, unless you want to play it up that way, maybe you want your, one of your, maybe you want to play a, one of those characters of being absolutely completely brain dead or something like that. They will literally blurt out what cards that they have. I mean, oh, jeez, that came out of nowhere, man. Okay, pardon me. Let me lower you down a little bit. Uh, Doing okay there, Gabe. How about yourself? Okay, that's good to hear. Um, um, Testing it out, and it's okay. Not not taking off, but that's okay. You know, doing this first time on YouTube. Uh, the only people that would really kind of see, um, the being on YouTube, you're not like advertising or you know, obviously my subscribers would see the notification that I'm going live, obviously, but I only have 43 subscribers, so I'm not really reaching a whole lot of people that way, right? Um, and if there's people that are like on the YouTube live, they might be able to kind of see that, hey, this creator is, well, technically I have this activated as gaming, even though I'm technically not gaming today. So that was probably bad on my part. But like I said, I'm still trying to test out the whole YouTube Live anyway. So yeah, you know, um, I'm just trying to figure out, um, you know, I don't know if you saw my yesterday's stream or something or anything along those lines if you were there, but you know, um, as I mentioned before, I'm getting tired of corporate America just kind of screwing me over. Trying to apply for jobs, not getting them, or them not keeping me in their workforce. So, obviously, hmm, yeah. Um, I mean, I lost my last job, back in January. So, now, yeah. So now I need to, yeah. Um, Now I need to work on trying to get a new job now that my phone is fixed. So, finally, after months. Ugh. But um, I'm getting tired of being, you know, uh, I'm tired of corporate America not being loyal. Even though technically I try to be as loyal as I can to these corporations, but they're not being very loyal to me. Um, but I need to get back into trying to find another job, and um, finally, now that my phone is fixed, and but at the same time, you know, I'm at this point where maybe I need to just start working towards making my YouTube channel something that can support me. But obviously, that's going to require a lot of work on my end. That's going to require a lot of editing. Um, that's going to require, uh, potential change in content because obviously, um, I'm not playing the most, you know, uh, I'm not playing games that are attracting thousands upon thousands of viewers in the past, right? I wasn't playing uh, you know, I never picked a game that had the thousands of viewers that if you go to Twitch right now, right? And you go to the categories of what, you know, people are looking at, people are watching, right? If you look at the amount of viewers on Twitch under categories, you know, just chatting has currently, based off of what I'm looking at right now, 266K viewers just for just chatting. So these are people that are, just doing like the ASMR or something like that, potentially, or music or, whatever, right? You have Minecraft, which is slightly less than that at 223,000, or 223K viewers, for Minecraft. And I haven't really done too much Minecraft on my channel, so I haven't really played Minecraft, um, on streams. I played it on occasion, but it was never something that was like on my, mainstream style channel, right? And so, I only played the games that I kind of wanted to play, or I haven't, I don't know, or I didn't play yet, and I wanted to get to a point where, you know, I would play them. I have them in my Steam list, and I do want to play them, or do want to finish them, and so on and so forth. But that doesn't typically translate into, you know, like thousands upon thousands of viewers, right? Um, I'm not aiming for the viewership, or I wasn't aiming for the viewership in the past, right? So, I didn't care about that in the past because I wanted to just play the games that I wanted to play, and that was it, right? But now, if I want to change this into a channel that, I need to look at that more, then, you know, I might need to consider dropping some of these games that really don't have sure, there might be some really devoted fans that, might still love the game, but, you know, the viewership isn't there. Like for example, that I play, like World of Warships, um, you know, I try to play World of Warships every Wednesday, right? Well, their current view count right now is 2.4K, you know, and there's a lot of streaming channels that stream that kind of content. So, everybody's basically fighting for those few community views, the few viewers that are willing to kind of join you on watching, what you do, right? So, um, you know, so, you know, I might need to kind of consider that, a little bit more. Um, the for example, when I was playing Borderlands with you guys, right? I was happy that, you guys came in and joined me for my Borderlands content. Um, but there wasn't a lot of people that came in, you know. Uh, Obviously Borderlands 2 has you know, um, has the fan base for it. Everybody loves Borderlands 2. Um, well, maybe not everybody loves Borderlands 2, but it has a good, community behind it, right? Um, you know, Borderlands 3 obviously, soured a lot of people to Borderlands, but Borderlands 2 typically had a lot of people that were very, um, devoted to that game, right? So, but you know, if I look at it now, like if I look at Borderlands 2 on Twitch, you know, I see 272 viewers for that game. You know, just looking on Twitch's community page and stuff like that. You know, um, if I want to, if I want to grow this channel into something bigger, I can't be aiming for 272 viewers. I can't necessarily be aiming for that per se. I gotta, but at the same time, you know, um, am I gonna be happy with trying to aim for like the most viewers out there, right? Like for example, I'm not a first-person shooter player, or I really haven't done too many first-person shooters, right? Um, but I mean, if I really want the viewer count, then maybe I should go for Apex Legends or Call of Duty or Counter Strike or something like that. I'm gonna suck at it. Everybody's gonna blow my brains out, but um, but that that might bring in the viewers, right? Maybe. Of course, I'm probably gonna have those people that hops on in and basically goes, "Oh my God, how terrible are you?" Just remove the game, uninstall. You suck. Get the hell out of here. I'm gonna have. Well, yeah, right. But I mean, let's face it. That's that's not gonna stop them. You know. Um. You know. Yeah. But my point is that um, even if I ban one person, another person's potentially gonna come on in and say the exact same thing. Okay, so um, but I mean that's the way of any game, really, right? You know, um, you know, like remember one time, I was playing World of Warships, right? And I actually got raided once, and that was the reason why I actually got pushed into affiliate, was because of that raid. They gave me enough. Yeah. Um, there was one person in that chat that was basically going, "Oh man, you suck." I'm like going, "Yeah, I know. Thank you. You can get the hell out of here now." You know. Yeah. Um, I was already talking about the fact that, I made a stupid move in the game, and that basically, you know, um wound up to me dying early. And I was like going, "Yep, I made a stupid mistake there." So, you know, I, you know, I wasn't smart. And this guy was like going, "Oh yeah, um, you're terrible," or or I forget exactly what they said, but I was like going, "Yeah, I just said that, and now you're being very toxic, so you can get the hell out of my chat." You know, I prefer more constructive criticism here, folks. Um, but um, so one of the things that I'm currently trying to, mull over right at this moment in time is, do I keep the current game list that I did, when I last streamed a couple months ago, um, when I the for those that you know uh, might not be aware. For example, let me go to my little about section because I actually recorded it down. Um, so Mondays was Dragon Age Origins, which you know um, here let me look at the view count on that for let's see. Uh, Dragon Age Origins, right? Uh, on Twitch, the current number of viewers watching anybody that's playing Dragon Age Origins right now is 57. 57 people. So if I was looking at that, that would and I was trying to work towards viewers, right? I'd be like, yeah, that'd probably be the first game that I cut, right? You know, if I like for example, if I compare like, hey, I want to play Minecraft, or I look at Minecraft and I'm seeing hundreds of thousands of viewers, versus Dragon Age with only 57, which would I choose, right? Now, Dragon Age Origins, I've never played before, right? This is first time playing it. So, some people might appreciate the fact that, hey, first time playing it, you might bring in some new, some people that love the game that want to watch you play it for the very first time. But how many people would that really be, though, right? If they're, if, if the fan base is, in the thousands upon thousands and stuff like that, and you know, how many people are interested in like the first time playing? Because I look at my channel, my playlist for it, for example. Let me go to my statistics, right? Um, like, no one's really commented about um wait, did I? Hold on a second. I did release some content for Dragon Age, did I not? I thought I played it like once and I released it out to the public already, but um, I don't know if I did or not. Hmm. No, 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 not. I'm just saying, this as a like a scenario. I'm not saying that I'm gonna be, playing Minecraft today or whatnot, but um, so um, I'm just kind of pointing out like, how many people are like, watching, looking at the content, right? Um, compared to others. Okay, you know, um, let's put it this way. So I do have a Minecraft playlist, right? I did Sky Factory, right? For I streamed Sky Factory for a short time. Um, and like a good majority of my content there had like barely any views for Sky Factory. Um, two views for the second video, two views for the third video, one view for the fifth video, so and no views for the uh, fourth and first, for example, right? So I mean, there's content that a lot of people aren't necessarily watching. Now I am I do know that all these videos are 4 hours long, okay, and obviously that tends to scare away a lot of people. I get that, I understand. Um, so so if I'm gonna like try to work towards um, you know trying to attract more viewership, then should I drop some of these games that I'm playing for the very first time and um, never finish them in and switch it over to games that have the view counts, have the people that love to watch these, the you know uh, the Minecraft and Apex Legends and so on and so forth style games, you know, um, and certain, in some ways, um, you know, um, I'm not necessarily helping myself out um, by playing games that are old that you know people have the nostalgia factor for, but might not have a lot of viewership for, right? So um, so that's what I've been kind of kicking around lately. It's like what um, if I want to change this into something that is um, to try to aim for more subscriptions, more try to build more of the community, then I might need to change that up a little bit. Maybe. Again, I don't know. So that's kind of what I was talking about before. You know. Um, all right, man. You have yourself a good night. You take care. All right, bye. Um, so, I don't know. What does everybody think? What does everybody say about that? You know, um, because obviously I'm kind of wrestling with that decision right now because um, you know, playing the games that I want to play hasn't hasn't necessarily translated into the view counts. Pardon me, I need to get something to drink here. Okay. So, I don't know. If I'm going to make this into something that can stand the test of time, then I'm gonna need to change things up. I'm gonna need to change things around. Um, because obviously, what I've done in the past never really um, you know, I do appreciate um, you know, the, you know, the, 250 followers on Twitch. I appreciate those um, that joined me, that wanted to stick with me, um, that wanted to, play the games with me. Um, and I look forward to continuing that. Um, but um, I need to, um, as I mentioned before, corporate America's just hasn't worked out for me, and so I need to, you know, while trying to get back into corporate America, um, try to find some way of surviving. So, um, so I need to take steps to try to survive. So, and that's brass tacks. That's um, that is the root of it all, right? You know, um, I have to figure out a way to survive, and you know, well, let me change that. I don't necessarily want to survive. You know, I want to be able to live, and you know, and right now, corporate America has not helped me in that. Um, you know, I would like to do more and, um, you know, until I can find, you know, a career in corporate America to live. I say career and not work because one would hope that a career would last more than a year. Um, you know, I'm hoping that that um, you know if that doesn't work out, then I'm gonna try to build this channel into something that could potentially be a career. But I can't do it without you, the viewer. Okay, if you're watching me right now, um, I'm gonna need your support on it. You know, so um, I hope that you can join me um, on these streams that I do. Because um, you know, uh, I'm not going to be able to do it by myself. You know, let me just put it that way. Okay. The you know, you look at any kind of YouTuber, you look at any kind of content creator, streamer, um, and if they're trying to make it into a career, then they're going to need your help. Okay. If you can't do anything financially, then do so in terms of sharing the content, promoting it in some small way. Okay. Like, um, take it and basically say, hey, hey, friend of mine, or, take that one friend and basically say, hey, I just saw this, uh, new YouTuber slash streamer, and I think you might enjoy their content. Go check them out or something like that. Right? You know, um, just a simple word of mouth can help. Okay, because if you can do that for, um, oh, okay, um, think of it this way: if one person can share the content of a YouTuber streamer to two people, okay, and those two people like the content, they follow, and and they recommended it to two of their friends. Now you're looking at four people, plus the three prior, right? And then it stacks. It stacks more, and it stacks more, and it stacks more. So think of it this way. Um, Obviously, streamers, YouTubers, you know, they will always appreciate, the donations, the subs, the um, I don't know what the payment is here on YouTube, whatever it's called. Um, you know, Obviously they're gonna appreciate that because if they're making it into a career, if they're trying to make it into something that will pay for their livelihood, then obviously they're going to appreciate anything that comes their way, right? Because you know, um, sometimes ad revenue might not necessarily cover for um, cover for just day-to-day essentials, right? Um, but um, you know, it sometimes it's just a matter of like, hey, passing that information on, sharing a person's content to others, saying, hey, this person's pretty cool, you should check them out, that kind of thing. Um, you know, um, and that's not always gonna take off or anything like that. That requires that person to come in and watch, right? You know, they're not going to blindly come into a streamer or YouTuber and stuff like that, look at the content and go, yeah, no, or they're not gonna come in, they're not gonna like follow and then suddenly say, I've never watched a single minute of it, but I'll recommend it to others. Maybe they do. That would seem a little odd, but that would be very rare. Um, but you know, that that sharing of details, the um, that word of mouth to try to, help someone out, you know, that can go a long way for people. Um, so I think that's probably where I'm gonna call it. I've been already doing this for 3 hours now. Um, I already did a little bit of like, checking out, what happens here on live. Obviously, there's probably a little bit of, a few things that I should probably do to change things up a little bit. Um, you know, uh, I need to kind of check out the analytics and so on and so forth here on YouTube, obviously, um, but I think that's where I'm going to go ahead and end it for today. I'll go ahead and try to come back tomorrow with the time frame that I was planning on doing. Now I do want to finish um, Subnautica Below Zero, which is what which is tomorrow's stream. Normally I would be playing World of Warships, but again, you know, um, there's gonna be there's probably gonna be changes as to the content of the channel. Um, do I continue with World of Warships? I don't know. Um, now I don't necessarily want to go completely away from it because um, I still have the clan that Mikey paid for on there, and I don't want to. Um, I don't want people kind of losing faith there. I want people to kind of keep on growing in that clan and promoting that clan and helping out everybody on that clan out, like how I normally am. I want people to kind of be helping each other out, even if I'm not there. Um, but I need to look at view count. I might need to look at view counts at now. My okay. Let me put it this way. Um, my I'm going to go to my playlist for World of Warships, right? Um, so on my YouTube channel, I have 97 World of Warship videos, 4 hours of content that are there, just waiting to be consumed by anybody that is interested. Okay. And while, yes, there isn't any high tier ranking gameplay in there, other than the occasional events, right? Because the events have the high tiers, but I mean, let's face it, that's not necessarily, high end content, right? Out of the 97 videos, you know, um, well, let's see. Actually, that's video count. That's not view count. Um, wait, no, there's more than 9 views. What are you talking about there, YouTube? um, I have videos here that have no views whatsoever. Um, you know, 5 views, no views, no views, no views, no views, 2 views, 1 view, no view, no view, 1 0 1 1 0 2 2 0 1 0 0 0 0. It's like, you know, um, oh hey, I got 32 views on one. Okay. A lot of no views. Got 8 views on that one. Ooh, wow. A lot of no views, a lot of no views. Um, no views, no views. Testing submarines, 12 views. Um, so needless to say, um, the um, the what I have right now in terms of World of Warship content, hasn't really met with a strong support. Um, or at least Nothing that is um, nothing that like blew up or anything along those lines. Okay. And while I still appreciate everybody that joined me for those games, you know, Mikey, Corpse, Kermit, Blackheart, Tornado, and others, um, it hasn't really translated. Now, again, I have mentioned before, it could be the fact that, you know, um, I'm the, those videos are 4 hour long, okay? And I can, you know, you know, what I could do, if I really wanted to, is I could break those down into their own individual matches. Now, obviously, that's more consumable, but it's not going to be like, groundbreaking content. And I might not necessarily speak all that much during those videos. So, um, so it's not like I'm going to be you're going to be getting like a lot from me per se sometimes during those videos. Um, but I mean that's a potential for view count, but do I really want to stream it all the time? I don't know. Hard to say. You know, now what I can do is I can test the waters. Okay, which means I can take, like World of Warships for example, and obviously clearly I can try to split them into their own individual videos. Obviously, I'll still have the VODs uncut, you know, by themselves, right? But I can try to, you know, with World of Warships, I can cut the games into their own individual matches, and maybe, just maybe, I might be able to get more view count from it because obviously those matches can be very short, especially if I die early. Um, you know, um, but obviously I would have to be putting in a lot of work editing wise to take, a 4 hour stream and break those into their own individual, you know, uh, videos. That would take a lot of editing to try to do that. So, um, not something that I look forward to. So, especially if I'm still going to try to do full-time streaming, right? So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. Um, this is more of a like the just chatting than anything else, but um, which I needed to kind of modify, or I'll have to check out like the categories tomorrow when I do this again. Um, I also have to see if there's a way for me to change the category, like in midstream, because I know that I can do that um, with Twitch, but I don't know if I can do that in um, with YouTube. I don't see a method of changing categories right at this moment in time. So I'll have to look that up a little bit more. Um, with Twitch, it was just a matter of, like, changing the categories around and blah, blah, blah. Simple, easy, done. I don't know how to go about doing that with YouTube, so I'll have to look at that a little bit more, find out like tutorials and see if there's any way to change that midstream. So if there's no way to change it midstream, then well, that's something that YouTube is going to have to fix. And obviously, I'll send feedback on that. Um, and I'll need to stick with gaming, even though technically, if I'm going to be streaming again tomorrow for like, doing a Pega coding stream, or, doing my lineup like I normally would, which is, the Pega 1 hour, the YouTube, um, making videos public for an hour, and then a gaming session for 4 hours. Obviously, that doesn't necessarily translate to, hey, that's all gaming. So, um, but yeah, um, you know, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end it here. I ask everybody that is interested to subscribe for future content. Obviously I'll put this VOD up on my I have like a playlist that's just basically what my personal life. I'll put this up there on that as well, so you can always come on back to it if you want. Um, but yeah, so that's it. So that's where we're gonna go ahead and end it for tonight. Go check out Blackheart. The streams on Twitch right at this moment in time. I want to thank um, Gabe who stopped on by. I also want to thank Ghoul X32EXE for stopping on by and chatting with me. I appreciate it. Hopefully you'll join me again and continue to be awkward and cringe, like I am. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you again. Um, you know, don't, I appreciate you chatting with me. I really do. Hopefully you continue to do so. I also want to thank everybody that just was kind of just lurking in the background and, you know, just enjoying me talking. So, um, so yeah, that's where we're gonna go ahead and end it for today. Thank you for joining me on, my testing of YouTube Live. I can see that, hey, it worked out for the most part. Obviously, there's some growing pains that I'm gonna have to deal with, that I'm gonna have to do. Um, so, but I'll deal with that, you know, as we progress. Um, so hopefully you'll join me on that. But that's it, or we're gonna go ahead and call it a night. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully I catch you next time. And until then, take care. Have a good night. Stay healthy. Stay safe. And I'll catch you strangers next time.